Hey everybody, it's me, Valley Girl. Hey, um, okay, well, the last time that I did an update was when I was talking about the comedian Robin Williams, um, and he had just passed away, and I was just expressing my feelings about how I felt about his passing um, regarding mental illness and and alcohol abuse. So that's been a minute ago. Um, Today I just um, I'm doing an actual update for of my journey um, surviving mental illness. Um, I'm just gonna give a quick preview for my listeners who um, who don't know my story. Um, I was in a 20-year um, mentally abusive marriage. No longer in that marriage, but being that I was in a mental abusive marriage, that is what set it all off um, of me being diagnosed with mental illness disease. Um, Earlier in the year, in February, is when I actually started um, telling my story or giving updates of my journey. And so I believe February was the last time I did an actual update regarding my medication that I was taking and things like that. So I'm going to update you on how I'm doing since I've been taking the medication. I'm doing good actually. Everything that the doctor said was going to happen is happening. Um, I I had to take 4 different types of medications before the doctors were actually able to prescribe a medication that did actually work for me. That's usually what happens. You have to just keep trying a medication until you find the right one that's going to make you feel like yourself again. So thank God I have been on this medication now since February, and yeah, I still have my setbacks. I still have my days where you know I'm paranoid, um, depressed, and anxious. Um, when I first started getting really, really bad with my illness, uh, I had just moved here to LA, and it started to really, really get bad. Um, Not to mention the medications that I was taking before had really, really bad side effects. One medication that I took, I had memory loss, like amnesia, like I didn't remember things. Like I could sit here and have a full on conversation with you, and then the next day I wouldn't even remember the conversation. Like I would be in my psychotherapist office talking for a whole 55 minutes, and when I went back the next day, I didn't even remember. Like she would be talking to me about something, and I didn't know what she was talking about. So that went on for a long time, and some really, really bad bad things happened to me while I was on that medication. And, but I'll go into that later when I go into my personal story. Uh, yeah, so, you know, so when it comes to medications, you don't always get on a medication that works for you. But, like I said, thank God I am now on a medication that is working for me. I have more energy now. I'm happier. Let's see. I'm not isolating myself anymore. I'm able to exercise. I have the energy to exercise. I have the energy just to want to get up in the morning and brush my teeth and take a shower. And because, believe me, there's days that I went without doing neither. And it's just something that happens when you're depressed. You're sick. You don't want to do anything. And that's one of the sad things about mental illness. But so as far as my medication, I have found one. The doctors have found one that works good for me. Also, I had started having uncontrollable body movement. And the doctors were not sure exactly what was causing it. They thought I was having mini seizures. They didn't really know. They took all these different tests. And so finally I went to this one specialist, and he diagnosed them as me having tics. And tics are caused from either stress or a lack of sleep. And now that I remember when it started coming on, my tics were really, really bad. If you go back and look at some of my other video updates, you can see. I mean, it was really bad. I still have them, but it depends on what I'm going through, what I'm talking about, what type of stress that I'm under, and I was really, really, at the time, I could not sleep. I went 4 full days without having any sleep at all. And oh my gosh, it was just a horrible, horrible feeling. I just felt like I was just like a zombie, like I was just there. And I actually thought that I was losing my mind. I just wanted to just tear my head off. And so that's why I have these Chanel bags under my eyes. It's because of the lack of sleep and the stress and depression and everything. But so I do still have the tics, but like I said, it's not, that bad. I couldn't drive for a long time because when I would have the tics, my body would move so bad that like my foot would come off of the brake or off of the accelerator, or I would push the accelerator. So it was really, really dangerous for me to drive. And then when I was able to drive, I was too scared to drive because of my paranoia. I just felt like I didn't have control of myself driving. I didn't have control of the car. I was just scared just to be outside. So that has improved. I am able to drive here in my city. I'm able to drive my daughter to school and pick her up. Now I'm able to at least, by myself, go to the grocery store, the closest grocery store. By myself, I don't feel so paranoid like someone's going to do something to me. I still can't go to the mall by myself. If there's anywhere where there's like a lot of people, I don't go by myself. So if it's church, which is where I really go, where there's a lot of people, um, I don't go by myself. So, but I'm still getting better. Still getting better. It's day by day. I try not to really stress myself out about it, because then if I do, then I'm just going to have to start all over. And I do not want to do that. So, okay, so the medication and the ticks I've gone over. All right, now I'm just going to talk about the symptoms that I started having years ago, probably like 2000, when I had my daycare. I had a daycare, taking care of babies. I love children. I can't do it now because I don't have the patience for it. But I guess I noticed it, back then. I was, I had no patience at all. Like in my 6th year of doing daycare, that's the reason why I stopped doing it, because I just didn't have patience anymore for the children, and that's when I knew that it was time to stop. So that was when I actually stopped working. So that was like in the 2000, year 2000, 2000, yeah, like 2000s. And yeah, so things, really aggravated me. Noises, loud noises, um, voices. I was annoyed by little things, little things. It could have been my mom talking to me, or my husband at the time. I just really got aggravated, and it was just over little things, little mediocre things. I was very, very emotional. I cried all the time, all the time. And I don't know why. It just happened. And to this day, I still can't explain it. I couldn't explain it then, and I can't explain it now either. I was really, really, what do you call it? My self-esteem was really shot. I felt like I was ugly, and no matter what I did, I would try to fix myself up. I would try to, change my style of clothing, or, I was overweight back then because I was self-medicating from the mental abuse that I was having. I was self-medicating myself with alcohol. And so I would, drink the alcohol. And when I drank the alcohol, my my appetite increased. So I would constantly eat. So I had my biggest, before I had my worst episode ever, I was weighing 177, and that was big for me, because I've always been like really small. And so, that was bothering me. I was really, really negative about everything. Everything. I stopped talking to people. I isolated myself from friends, family. I wouldn't answer my phone. People would call me. I wouldn't answer it, or I would just turn it off. I can't explain it. I cannot explain why I felt that way. I was really, really in a bad situation. After, my divorce, things got worse, because I was going through divorce now. And the divorce wasn't because of my illness. The divorce was because of other situations that was going on. But, I just had so many dark, dark days. I lashed out on people who I loved, in my family, because, I would try to explain, but I couldn't explain. And because no one understood what I was going through, and I didn't even understand what I was going through, I hurt, a lot of people. So I'm glad that I don't feel like that anymore. I'm starting to feel like Kim again, and that is a really good feeling. So, yeah. Mental illness is real in this world today. Most of the things that's going on is because people are either not diagnosed, misdiagnosed, or they are diagnosed and they've been prescribed medication and they don't take it. And I know that because I did the same thing. Because you don't want to. You don't want to take it. Sometimes you're on a medication where you don't like the way it makes you feel. It makes you sleepy, or you just feel like a zombie, or you don't feel like yourself. So you're like, why am I taking this medication? Or you'll start taking the medication and you'll start to feel better. So you stop taking it. And that happened to me a lot. And you can totally tell the difference when you're not on it, when you stop. And I would stop immediately myself, and that is not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be weaned off of it by your medical doctor, not weaned off of it by yourself, or stop it drastically, because you will do major damage to yourself. And I am a witness to that, because so many bad things happened to me when I stopped taking my medication. So, yeah. If you're on medication and you don't like the medication, there's something about it that you don't like, discuss it with your doctor, because they will either tell you to continue taking it, that it's only going to make you feel that way for a while, or they will change your medication. So that's why I said it took 4 different medications before the doctors were able to find a right one for me. My birthday's coming up pretty soon. And this is going to be the first time in a long time. I don't even remember the last time. Last year, I don't even remember. I have pictures, and when I go back and look at my pictures, I don't even remember my birthday. I don't remember it. So, this year, I said this year, 2014, was going to be a good year for me. And it has. It has. I've been truly blessed. So I feel the same way, for the year 2015, that, this is going to be an even better year for me. So, wow. Yeah, there are, like I said, there's so many things that's going on now in this world. And a lot of it is caused by people, individuals, boys, girls, men, and women. You see it on the news all the time, things happening in schools, at work, jobs, people doing things. And it's because they have a chemical imbalance in their brain. Because if it was balanced, then they would be in the right frame of mind, thinking, and they wouldn't do the things that they're doing. And a lot of us we do tend to self-medicate. We turn to alcohol or drugs to try to numb ourselves, or, we just think that, I don't know, we don't think that it's going to help us, but it makes us forget for a minute. And then when you do that, people do stupid things when they're under the influence. And when you are mentally imbalanced, it makes it even worse. And if you're on medication and you are self-medicating, it makes it even worse. So, yeah, if anyone out there, you might have depression, anxiety, paranoia, post-traumatic stress disorder, suicidal, you may be feeling that way, and you probably don't know why. You probably wouldn't even think to go to a doctor. And even if you go to the doctor, this happened to me years ago, and I used to have, breakdowns. And when I would go to the doctor, they would just send me home, basically. They would have a counselor come talk to me, and then they would send me home. And so I never got any help until 9 years later when I moved here. And I was finally able, you can't always, I went to doctor, and it took me this long to finally find, the right doctor, the right psychotherapist that I felt comfortable with talking to, because I didn't trust anyone. So, you have to be able to trust someone who you're going to tell your problems to. So, that's why it's so hard. And that's why, it's so important that people start talking about mental illness, because it is not talked about so much that, it's like when something happens, like what happened with Robin Williams. And I thank God that, people are now talking about it in the entertainment industry, since that's who, people listen to. There are a lot of people now that are talking about, mental illness. So things are changing. They really are. But it's going to take people like me and other people who are advocates for mental illness to talk about it and get it out there. Because if it's not talked about, then it won't be noticed, and nothing will be done about it. So, yeah. I'm really, really embarrassed to say this, but out of everything that I could talk about, the abusing alcohol, lashing out, on family members, all that stuff, the one thing that really, really, really is hard for me to talk about is me losing my faith in God. I turned my back. I was angry. I was angry at God for all those years. And it's because I finally did surrender and put all my trust in Him that I am here speaking to you guys. Yes, the doctors and the medication has helped, but it was God that led me to those doctors. And so with my family, my faith in God, and, the doctors that I have and the medication that I'm taking is the reason why I'm still alive. Because my last attempt of suicide was almost my last. So, yeah. It's important. Notice the signs. If you have a child or a husband or, a wife or a friend or anyone who who isolates themselves, in their room like I did. I stayed in my room with my TV off. I would just cry, um, just thinking about all kinds of crazy, negative, things, and ugh. And then, just not someone who's just not their self. Like, I'm sure my friends, and family noticed that something was wrong with me, but they probably just thought it was the problems that I was having in my marriage. You know, Mental illness, depression never crossed their mind. So, go on the website, Google depression, mental illness, you know, Google it and check out what the signs are. There's so many young, the youth, they're our future. They're our future doctors and lawyers, and that's going to help other patients like me. They are our future. So we have to talk about it so that they can grow up and be healthy. Because there's even doctors now, they're doing things that they wouldn't normally do in surgery rooms and, oh gosh, just everywhere, and it's like all types of things. I don't even have time to get into all of them right now. But yeah, just look for the signs. And if anyone has any questions, I'm. This is something that I want to devote, that I will be devoting, the rest of my life while I'm on this earth to, is helping people who have mental illness and going out speaking about it, sharing my story. I have a very, very, very interesting story, and I'm working on it right now. It's hard for me to go back and relive all of the awful things that I've had to go through, but it's all worth it if it's going to help someone else. So if you have any questions other than the type of medication that I'm taking, I'm only taking one medication. It's one little pill that I have to take every morning. But like I said earlier, I am not a doctor, and I don't want to talk about my medication because I'm not a doctor. So I think it's something that you should discuss with your doctor. I don't want to give anyone any false hope and say, oh, you should take the type of medication I take because it's going to make you feel good. And then you take it and it does the total opposite. So that's why I don't want to talk about the medication. But anything else that you want to know about me and my illness, please ask me. And I would not have a problem answering the question, whether it's about alcohol, whether it's about marijuana, whether it's about any type of mental abuse, sexual abuse. Just give it a shot. Just ask me. And I might be able to tell you something that that's going to help you. Maybe be able to guide you, tell you where you could go. There's different websites that you can go to. NAMI is really good. It's the National Alliance of Mental Illness. That's a really, really good website to Google. And I've already given the suicide prevention line. I don't know it. I don't have it with me right now. I used to know it by heart, but if you need to know that, just comment and I will get the information. So I know this is a really, really hard thing to talk about because who wants to be diagnosed mentally ill? It's a stigma, but it's an illness like anything else. It needs to be treated. And the brain is the most important organ, not the heart, not the kidney, not the liver. Your brain is in control of all those organs. when your heart stops, all that, your brain is controlling it. No one understands the brain. That's the organ that no one understands. So that's a very, very important organ, and it needs to be treated. It needs to be balanced. When it goes out of balance, you're out of balance. And when you're out of balance, things like depression and anxiety and paranoia, post-traumatic, stress disorders, suicide, there's all kinds of different mental illnesses. Some people are just born with it. Like I said earlier, there's an underlining of mental illness in everyone, but it usually takes something traumatic to actually set it off. Some are more severe, than others. So don't be embarrassed to talk about it. I was actually glad. I was like, what? Oh my God, I was just so glad that I knew what was wrong with me, because I didn't know what was wrong with me. I was just like, I can't even explain it. And I know I'm not the only one who feels like this, because I've gone to my meetings where everyone in there has the same thing as me, some form of mental illness. There's different kinds. And, I just felt like they were my family, because we're all going through the same thing. It's just like if you have cancer and you have the support system. You go through the same thing, other patients who are going through it, and you have them to talk to. You have something in common with someone else, because I couldn't talk to my mommy, who is the most important and closest person to me. I couldn't talk to her about it, because she couldn't, as much as she loved me and she just wanted to hold me and just say, baby, I just want to fix this, but she couldn't. And so, that's what it's all about. Understanding this disease. It's a disease like any other. Don't let anyone tell you that you're crazy. You're not crazy. You're not. And I don't even like that word. That's a bad word. If you're a mental illness person, that is not a good word. Don't say it. And, that's about all I have to say right now, because I don't want to, overwhelm and start talking about things off of track. I'll leave it for the next update. But I'm really proud of myself. I'm doing good now. I'm still not able to work. I probably, I'm still not able to work. So I am retired. Now I'm just concentrating on getting myself better and getting ready to go out on tour and talk about mental illness and my personal story. So, everybody, I will talk to you later. I will see you on Instagram. I will see you on Facebook. I never given my Facebook out, but if anyone wants to follow me on Facebook, it's basically the same thing that I post on Instagram, if you follow me on Instagram. But it's under Kim Lavette Trotter on Facebook. Kim Lavette, Lavette, Trotter is Trotter. Like the Globetrotters. No, I'm not really a Globetrotter, but yeah. So, all right, I'm gonna close right now, and thank you for listening.